On WBKB.
Local law enforcement keeps an eye on Alpena schools.
Plus, high winds pose challenges for power restoration efforts.
And APS School Board votes to approve a new COVID policy.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kent Davis.
And I'm Jatine Tinsley.
Local law enforcement kept an eye on Alpena Public Schools Friday. Superintendent David Rabideau says multiple parents and students reported a TikTok trend that called December 17th National Shoot Up Your School Day. While no specific threats were made against Alpena schools, Rabideau says they still took a cautious approach. The local police department and sheriff's office upped their drive-bys near school buildings as a deterrent, ready to respond in a worst-case scenario. Rabideau told WBKB he's saddened and frustrated by this trend of violent threats in the wake of the Oxford shooting.
High winds continue to pose challenges for power restoration efforts. Representatives for Presque Isle Gas and Electric say they've restored power to about 15,000 member services. However, they said yesterday's strong winds knocked out services for thousands more. Employees from multiple agencies are hard at work clearing fallen trees and replacing damaged utility poles. However, roughly 6,000 members are still without power, and P&G believes the situation may continue for another day. The most affected regions are Presque Isle, Sheboygan, and Montmorency counties.
The Alpena Board of Education voted to approve a new COVID policy earlier this week. Jatine, you've got more on that for us, right?
That's right, Kent. Take a look. The Emergency Temporary Standard Policy comes as a mandate from the Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It requires employers with over 100 employees to implement COVID-19 vaccines as a requirement. For APS employees who oppose vaccination, Superintendent David Rabideau says there is another option.
Through all of this, there has always been a testing option, and that's the route we're going. So if an employee doesn't want to be vaccinated, they will not be required to be vaccinated to work for Alpena Public Schools, but they would have to meet that testing requirement of providing a negative test on a weekly.
Weekly testing can be a strain on employee budgets, and it's still unknown if testing will be paid for at the federal level. However, Superintendent David Rabideau says APS plans to alleviate that burden.
The schools is going to pay for that. For our employees.
At this time, the ETS policy acts as a placeholder to meet MIOSHA's deadline. It will not be enacted until MIOSHA resolves multiple court proceedings. Jatine Tinsley, WBKB News.
Now, you might have noticed we're a little less formal today.
And that's because it's National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day.
So we did some thinking to try and figure out the appeal of these wonderfully terrible things.
This thing's gonna fall off. Ugly sweater parties are a relatively new but very popular holiday tradition. But why do we love these gaudy garments? From what we've seen, we think it's about an excess of enthusiasm. A season's greetings sweater is only appropriate so many days a year. An outfit with built-in lights is uncomfortable at the office. And Rudolph's pom-pom nose won't last long. They're silly and impractical, but Mark Harger of the Office Lounge and Grill in Oscoda says that's why there's so much fun for parties.
Christmas is a stressful time, so get people out, de-stress a little bit, have a good time, and make fun of themselves if they can.
And maybe that's the key to their popularity, self-awareness. They allow us to laugh at ourselves by representing the over-the-top nature of modern Christmas. As for Harger, he's getting in on the fun himself with an ugly sweater party at his bar this Saturday night. In Alpena, Kent Davis, WBKB News.
More news ahead for you here on WBKB.
We have our final bridge update of the year, and meteorologist Carl Rippey has your 7-day forecast next. Meteorologist Carl Rippey is here with a look at our forecast. I'm hoping for snow.
Well, welcome back. It's great to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm meteorologist Carl Rippey. We got lots going on in our weather, so come on in. Let's check this out together. If you're wondering if we're going to have some of those winds that'll be left over, some of them will try to pick up just a bit, but they're not going to be anything like what we've experienced over the last couple of days. Some of our skies are going to threaten just a bit. We'll have some clouds that'll come through. We'll also have some sunshine on our shoulders. We do have some instability is trying to make it up into the southern part of our viewing area. It's going to rotate through, leave us with some of that instability and that northwesterly flow, although it's going to be fairly light, 10 mile an hour, maybe a 15 mile an hour gust. It could bring some of those unsettled conditions right into the area. But what it's mostly going to do is that wind is going to be pulled in underneath this system, and that is going to be coming through, and it's going to be cold. That cold wind is going to make its way in. It's going to make it feel wind chilly. So our temperatures are going to be in the 20s and 30s, but it won't feel quite that warm. We get into our Sunday, it looks like we're going to get a little bit more sunshine. The winds aren't going to be quite as strong, so that is good news. The system that is coming up from the south is going to cause some of those turbulent conditions, some of those gusting conditions as well. But it's not going to be like what we've experienced over the course of the last couple of days, so that's good news. 15 mile an hour, we might make it up into a little higher wind speeds than that in terms of our gusts. But for the most part, things are going to be fairly well under control. Once we start to feel that northerly flow, we get into our Monday, things are starting to change over just a little bit, and that's going to bring some cold air into the forecast. This is what it looks like. We'll be in that freezing range. It's going to be close to freezing at or below just by a notch or two. We do warm up for our Monday. We get some warm air back into the forecast on our Monday. We also get some humidity that'll come in. That air is going to rise and make for some heavier clouds. So we get a little bit of cloud cover even though we get some warmer air into the forecast. Some of that warmth is going to linger into our late evening hours and overnight. That's going to also give us a start on the Tuesday morning. It's fairly cool, where we're only going to make it into those lower 20s. We may even see an upper teen we get into next week. So this weather that's going to be fairly warm for a Monday, that could fake you out, make you think that the rest of the week is going to be like that, but it's really going to cool off. Once this wind changes direction on our Monday, it starts coming back in from the north for our Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's going to drop our daytime highs and our overnight lows into the teens for some of us, into the single digits for others. So a cold forecast as far as our overnight lows goes. We get into the latter part of next week. We'll have a few of those snow showers left over for our Saturday. Sunday looks to be the nicer of the weekend days.
Only one day with a chance of snow? Oh, Carl, how you let me down.
Well, today's photo was sent in by Jeremy Heath. He took this shot during his travels. It's a group of turtles enjoying the buffet at the Sydney Zoo in Australia. Thank you, Jeremy, for sharing this photo with us. If you have an interesting photo of people, places, or things that you would like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
Coming up on WBKB News, why COVID-19 may have spread faster in the U.S. than in other countries. And Austin Sumowitz will have the latest in sports.
It seems like the Road Commission's given us an early Christmas present. The Bagley Street Bridge is finally open. Drivers traveling between the north and south sides of Alpena can once again make use of the Bagley Bridge. However, the Road Commission would like to remind the public that the bridge is still a construction zone with a reduced speed limit. The opening will help ease traffic on the Chisholm Detour this winter, making for a safer commute. Work on the bridge will resume in 2022.
In your Health Watch this evening, the number of Americans with throat cancer is growing, and why COVID-19 may have spread faster in the U.S. than in other countries. Bradley Blackburn takes a look at some of today's top health stories.
California researchers studying the order of COVID-19 symptoms during the first wave in 2020 say a cough is what usually showed up first for Americans, followed by a fever. Since COVID is spread through respiratory droplets, that made COVID particularly infectious in the U.S. Throat cancer cases among men are rising in all 50 states and among women living in the Midwest and Southeast. That's according to Texas researchers who also found an increase in large tumors and deaths. More than 70% of throat cancer cases are caused by the human papillomavirus. And a new study finds violence between people who are intimate is severely underreported in emergency rooms, and most of the cases are women. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital also say emergency physicians are unprepared to identify and assist male victims of domestic violence, and abused men are less likely to seek help. Those are some of today's top health stories. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now, before we move on, I just want to say I'm really excited to be able to shorten my commute again on the bridge.
Me too. I'm excited to just go across the bridge. When I moved here, it was under construction, so now I can finally see what's over there.
Not much, mostly trees. Sports is coming up next, but first, Austin Sumowitz is in with a preview. Austin, tell us the latest.
Hey guys, love the Christmas sweaters. Well, tonight both the Alpena boys and girls basketball squads are going to do battle against Cadillac, but this is coming off of the guys game against Bay City Western last night, and I'm going to run down those highlights up next. Plus, it was a high-scoring battle in Carolina as the Red Wings faced the Hurricanes. That and more is next on WBKB Sports. Welcome back. The Wildcats, after starting their basketball season with a win at home against Ogama Heights, were on the court back again last night. Alpena would take on Bay City Western, who are coming into this game 2-1 after a strong win against Bay City Central on Tuesday. It was shaping up to be a fun game to watch, so let's check out all the highlights right now. Well, the Wildcats came out early and put on a show, shutting down Bay City Western in this one. First up, Tucker Bright on the fast break is free from the defense to make a quick layup with his left for the Wildcats on that play. And up next, it's his older brother, Cooper Bright, off an Alpena steal. He's got a lane straight to the basket, and he lays it up and in. How about those Bright brothers today? Now, Alpena would hold Bay City Western to just 3 points in the first quarter. Now, Luke Young with a great bounce pass to Mason Mumford rises up for the layup and gets fouled on the way up, but still makes it for the and one. Now, again, the Bright brothers back at it again. Tucker gets it to Cooper, and Cooper's going to get himself an and one off of that great layup despite the contact. Bay City Western's finally going to get some offense near the end of the second quarter. Joseph DeCuff, the sophomore, near the corner, puts up a three-pointer, and he makes it. He put up 6 points in this game. Now, Devin LeMay with the ball now finds Cooper Bright in the corner, and Cooper puts it up and cashes in the three-pointer. He led the Wildcats in scoring with a whopping 24 points. Now, Kason Frost from Bay City West with the ball drives in, goes for a layup, and he's going to grab an and one for BCW off staying tough, fighting through the lane. Frost had 10 points in this one. Now, fast break again in a familiar sight. The Bright brothers, Bright to Bright, and the Bright score for the Wildcats on that play. And now Tucker Bright, he's going to finally go coast to coast through this fast break. He'll fly through the Bay City Western defense for a great layup. Tucker put up another 14 points for the Wildcats in what was a dominating performance. Alpena gets another great win to move to 2-0 on the season with a final score 71-50. Alpena will be back in action in their next game against the Cadillac Vikings tonight. We're now moving over to the Battle of the Tigers in Hillman. The Hillman Tigers hosted the Alcona Tigers yesterday, and Hillman is looking to remain undefeated after 2 games. Now, Alcona just suffered a loss on Wednesday against Tawas area, so they were looking to rebound from that tough game with a win on the road to hand Hillman their first loss of the year. Well, try as they might, the Alcona Tigers were not able to shut down the Hillman Tigers. Hillman will move to 3-0 as they win the Battle of the Tigers. Final score 65-31. Hillman will have their last game before the new year on Monday against Cedarville, and Alcona will return home on Monday to try to avoid 3 straight losses when they host the Hale Eagles. The Red Wings Wings were able to rebound after losing 3 straight with a win at home against the New York Islanders. Now Detroit has hit the road again to have a true challenge against the leaders of the Metropolitan Division, the Carolina Hurricanes. Currently 7-3 at home and have won 4 of their last 5 games, Detroit would need to be relentless in this one in order to come away with a win. Now this first period was fast and wild. The first up, Carolina near the end of their power play gets it to Jesper Fast, who then fires, but it's saved. But then Nino Niebender is going to get the rebound to score on the power play, and the Hurricanes lead 1-0. Now the Red Wings with possession. Sam Garner skating around the net, fires a wrister, and he scores the unassisted goal for Sam on this play. He gets number 4 on the year, and he ties this one up. Now Carolina is going to get yet another rebound goal, as this first shot is going to go wide off of the glass until Tony DeAngelo skates in, puts it back in. The Hurricanes regain the lead in this high-scoring first period, and it wouldn't stop after that. Red Wings now with a breakaway. Dylan Larkin with nobody in sight besides him and the goalie, one-on-one, and Larkin fires and he scores goal number 12 for the captain, and this game is tied yet again. Now with less than a minute and a half remaining in this period, Jack DeRay is going to get the puck up the middle. His first shot is saved, but not his second one. DeRay gets his first goal of his NHL career in his first NHL game, so we head to intermission down by 1 in this one. Now second period, Dylan Larkin gets it to Tyler Bertuzzi on this play. Tyler tries to sneak a shot around the goalie, but it's ruled a no goal. However, after further review, it would be later reversed, and Tyler was awarded the goal, and Bertuzzi would tie it up with that absolutely great goal. Start of the third period now. Carolina with a breakaway, and it's Neo Niederreiter, and he's again got it, and he's going to fire and score on this one. Second goal on the night for Nino, and Detroit just cannot take the lead away from the Hurricanes. Detroit now with an empty net. They're trying to equalize yet again, but they would find no luck as Vincent Trocheck gets the empty net goal with just 4 seconds remaining, and this one is all but finished. Detroit would keep pace almost the entire night, but couldn't pull ahead as Carolina takes the game 5-3. Detroit returns home today when they face the New Jersey Devils. Well, don't go anywhere. Next on WBKB News, we'll have your eye on entertainment.
Familiar foes return in the latest Spider-Man movie, and country music power couple Tim McGraw and Faith Hill star in a highly anticipated new Western series. Anthony Pura has that and more in today's Eye on Entertainment.
Spider-Man faces his greatest challenge yet in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Look, there has to be another way!
There isn't. In the latest installment of the franchise, familiar foes return as the web-slinger faces off against some of the most powerful villains in the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man No Way Home debuts in theaters today. 1883, the origin story behind Yellowstone, is set to debut this weekend on Paramount+. Country music stars Tim McGraw and Faith Hill play James and Margaret Dutton. The show follows their journey westward through untamed wilderness. Married for 25 years, Hill says she and McGraw came up with a plan not to work on their scenes off the set.
We just didn't want either one of us to have a preconceived notion of what they would be. We just wanted it to be real and as authentic as possible.
The first 2 episodes of 1883 drop on Paramount Plus Sunday. After an author is kidnapped by an eccentric billionaire looking for hidden treasure, a cover model comes to her rescue in The Lost City. Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, and Daniel Radcliffe star in the new comedy adventure.
Jungles eat people like us.
The Lost City will hit theaters in March.
What's up, Danny?
Hi, everybody.
And Daniela Rua from NCIS Los Angeles joins Cedric the Entertainer in the greatest at-home videos. Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Anderson, and Paula Abdul also appear in the popular viral home video show, slotted for back-to-back episodes tonight on CBS. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I don't know about you, but the Spider-Man movie is kind of tempting me to get back into a theater. I know I shouldn't be doing it right now, but I don't know how long I can avoid spoilers.
I haven't been in a theater in a long time, but I do like Spider-Man, so I say give it a go.
All right, I'll let you know how that works out for me. Thank you for watching WBKB News at 6.
Visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Aaron Griffin. Have a great evening.